Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you guys how to make funfetti cake. This is one of my favorite cakes to make because it's so fun. It's simple. You don't have to have a lot of ingredients, and it is just really good and hits all the spots that you need it to hit. In the description box below, you gonna now find a link to a printable recipe card with step-by-step instructions along with some frequently asked questions and troubleshooting tips as well. If you do end up making this cake, be sure to share a picture in the comments so I can see your beautiful creations. And also don't forget to follow me on social media for more fun recipes just like this one. But without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so we're going to start off by preheating our oven to 350 degrees. Then we're going to grease and flour 3 9-inch round cake pans. Now when you're greasing your pans, don't forget to get all the sides. I always recommend using non-stick cooking spray, so you don't have to use as much flour, and you get a really clean release at the end. Then we're going to set these pans aside. In a large bowl, we gonna cream together 1 cup of butter and 1¾ cups of granulated sugar until it is light and fluffy. You should have about 3 minutes on medium speed with an electric mixer. Next, we're going to add 2 large eggs one at a time, beating well after each addition. Once that is done, we gonna add in 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract and 1/2 teaspoon of almond extract. Be sure not to overbeat your eggs or else your cake might be tough. So just mix everything together until it's fully combined and then move on to the next step. Next, we're going to combine our dry ingredients in a separate bowl. We have 3 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. We gonna now whisk these together until they well combined and there are no more large clumps. Then we gonna now slowly add this dry ingredient mixture to our wet ingredients on low speed until just combined. We don't want to overbeat this, or else our cake will be tough. So once everything is just combined, we gonna stop and scrape the sides and bottom of the bowl, and that is when we gonna add in our 1 cup of milk. Again, we're just going to mix this on low speed until just combined. Now that our batter is ready, we're going to divide it evenly amongst our prepared cake pans. I like to use a kitchen scale to make sure that each pan gets the same amount of batter, but if you do and have a scale, just go by weight. You should have 3 even portions. Once they evenly divided, we gonna smooth out the tops of the cakes. And then we gonna bake them for 30 to 35 minutes or until a wooden toothpick inserted into the center comes out clean. I always recommend starting to check your cake a little bit early so you don't overbake it. While our cakes are baking, let's prepare the funfetti. In a separate bowl, combine 1 cup of granulated sugar and 1/4 cup of water. Next, add in 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract and 1/4 teaspoon of almond extract. Whisk this together until your sugar is dissolved, and then set this mixture aside. Once our cakes are finished baking, we're going to let them cool in their pans for 10 minutes. That way, they'll be easier to remove. After 10 minutes, we gonna take our cakes out of the pans and place them on a wire rack to cool completely. While our cakes are cooling, let's make the buttercream frosting. In a large bowl, cream together 1 cup of butter and 3 cups of powdered sugar until it's light and fluffy. It should take about 3 minutes on medium speed with an electric mixer. Next, add in 1/3 cup of milk and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Beat this on low speed until it's fully combined. Then add in another 1/3 cup of milk and continue beating on low speed. You might not need all of this milk, so just use what you need. The consistency you're looking for is one that's spreadable, but not too runny. Now that our frosting is complete, let's start decorating our cake. I'm gonna stack our 3 layers on top of one another with a thin layer of frosting in between each one. Once the first 2 layers are stacked, I'm going to put a generous amount of frosting on top of the last layer. Then using an offset spatula, I'm going to frost the entire cake. Try to get an even coating all the way around. Once you have an even coating, you can get fancy with it and add any designs you want. And that's what I'm going to do now. I'm just going to go around the edge of the cake with a star tip and then fill in the middle with a tree-like pattern. Next, we gonna take that sugar mixture that we made earlier, and we gonna toss our cake in it. Just make sure that all sides of the cake are coated. And if there's any excess, just let it drip down the sides. This is what gives our cake that signature funfetti look. For the final step, we're going to add the sprinkles. I recommend adding them to the sides and top of the cake, but feel free to add them wherever you'd like. My favorite part about this cake is that it's super colorful and full of flavor, but not overly sweet. The balance of sweet to not too sweet is perfect in my opinion. And it really does hit all the spots that you need it to. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I hope you try this recipe because it is so delicious. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.